Hi, my name is Michael. I'm 48 years old, and people describe me as one of the happiest people they know. I'm a healthy, motivated, and energetic person. You can tell I'm a happy guy just by looking at my broad smile, my good shape, and my positive mood. But all of this was different only a year ago. Back then, I had a serious skin problem that was slowly starting to affect all areas of my life. Today, I will tell you how I managed to get rid of psoriasis, a disease I've been struggling with for 8 years and that many people have to live with throughout their whole lives. But not me. I was determined to find a way out and get my self-confidence back, whatever it cost me. I tried every possible remedy and every approach, and nothing helped permanently. Sometimes there were minor improvements, but psoriasis always came back when I experienced stress or more extreme weather. But before I tell you how I cured psoriasis, let's go a few years back. It all started 8 years ago when I was working on a construction site out in the cold. A few days later, red stains appeared on my elbows. At first I didn't pay attention to them, but then they started spreading on other areas of my body. At that time, my immune system wasn't very strong. I didn't exercise. I worked 12 hours a day, and I ate mostly junk food. What's more, I was going through a rough period in my life. I split up with my wife, I was terribly nervous and irritated. I have to admit that I drank a little too much on some nights with all that stress in my life. All of this affected my health. My immune system, already in poor shape, got even worse, and psoriasis hit me really hard. My skin started to itch awfully. Blisters started popping out, along with red spots, scales, and other unpleasant side effects. I had no choice but to go to the dermatologist. Back then I didn't know what psoriasis was. At first I thought I had a nasty rash, but things were getting out of control. The diagnosis, as you can imagine, was not positive. I had a serious case of psoriasis. The doctor prescribed the typical course of treatment, a diet, more rest, and several pills and ointments I can't even recall. A month later, no improvement was visible. I started experimenting with all sorts of creams, medicines, folk remedies, and detoxifying procedures. None of those helped much either. It all felt like I was throwing money out of the window. Months and years went by. I ended up spending 8 long years fighting with that pest. None of the procedures, pills, and ointments did much. I met many dermatology experts. I even went to France and Germany. Sometimes the acute symptoms were temporarily relieved, but only to come back stronger later. The chronic psoriasis wasn't going away. I had almost given up, and I was starting to get used to the way I looked and to all the itching. But I hadn't seen the worst of psoriasis yet. One day, problems with impotence appeared. My doctor said they were caused by the disease and are very common with men who suffer from psoriasis. At first, I only had trouble getting a full erection, but soon enough my erection was gone completely. That was when I got really scared. I was only 47 years old then, and I couldn't get used to having no sex life. This issue led to family problems with my second wife. We started fighting more and more often. She is a lot younger, so I was worried she might leave me and find somebody else. I knew it would happen sooner or later. And I couldn't blame her. The intimate life is what brings harmony into every couple's relationship. Besides, even if I could get an erection in the first place, there was no way she could find my body covered with red spots and scaly patches attractive in any way. I knew I had to do something, or I would lose her. I put all my efforts into finding possible cures I haven't tried yet. I wish I could say after a week of serious research I managed to have a eureka moment, but it was nothing so spectacular. One day, the solution found me. To this day, I still can't believe my luck. Perhaps wanting something bad enough really pays off. That's why I'm so grateful. There are so many people who have to put up with psoriasis their entire lives. But back to my story. One day, I read something on the internet about a new natural product that treated the problem and not the symptoms. The article said that psoriasis roots from inadequate microcirculation of vitamins and minerals in the skin cells, and all symptoms would vanish if you treat that real problem accordingly. I liked the logic behind that. Plus, I had nothing else to lose, so I decided to order a pack of this cream, called PsoriFix. I remember not even having any hope it would help. I wasn't able to recall how not suffering from psoriasis felt. It was like I had been born with it, but I had promised myself I would try everything, so I bought the cream. It came in a few days, and I put it on my skin stains before I went to sleep. On the following morning, I noticed something strange. The itching was gone. Even the red patches seemed a little milder, but I thought I was making it all up. I wasn't quick to celebrate. I had seen some improvement before, and it had never lasted. But this time, it was different somehow. The itching had never gone away before, and it was still not coming back a few days later. Another week later, I noticed the red stains on my skin were feeling smoother. I could even swear that they were starting to shrink in size. One more week and they were half the size. You can imagine how I was feeling. For a person who has lived with this torture for years, seeing the spots and the cracked skin disappear in front of their eyes feels like a miracle. I caught myself daydreaming. Everybody feels intimidated by psoriasis as they think it's contagious. Jumping in the pool or even swimming in the sea seemed impossible for me. Even daydreaming about having a normal life seemed like a big victory. Before that, I found it useless as I had no hope things would get better. But now I had hope. Things were improving. My wife was also astonished. She started smiling back at me for the first time in months. I continued using PsoriFix, hoping the effects would not subdue this time, and they didn't. I continued feeling better and better, and my skin kept on recovering. In a month's time, my skin was clear and soft, probably looking better than before the disease hit me. One by one, all the psoriasis symptoms had disappeared. After completing the entire treatment course, I went to the dermatologist to get examined again, and my doctor said that the psoriasis was gone. I felt like I was dreaming. In spite of my fears, the symptoms never came back. Now about 10 months have passed, and everything still looks okay. No sign of any psoriasis, even though I have had a strong cold twice in the recent months. Normally, I wouldn't recommend a product for psoriasis. On one hand, I had never found anything that actually helped, and second, I hate giving false hope to people who are struggling. But a friend of mine who also had a milder case of psoriasis noticed that I'd looked better and so much happier and asked me what was going on. Before I knew it, I had recommended PsoriFix and my friend had ordered it. I called her a few weeks later and she told me things had started to change for her as well. I don't remember hearing her sound so happy and optimistic. To be honest, to this day I still can't believe that I got rid of psoriasis. Sometimes I wake up looking for my stains, but they're nowhere to be found. When I think that this cream helped me more than expensive medicines and antibiotics have ever helped. I recently read that more and more people have used it to cure psoriasis, and that is the reason you're watching this right now. I thought I should get the word out and tell my story, hoping I will help others like me and you. Actually, I first recommended PsoriFix to several people on a specialized internet forum. Those guys had the same problems, so I wanted to see if it would help them as well. Several of them ordered it, and I waited for their post to see how their skin responded. A few weeks later, feedback started coming back on the forum. One man told me the stains of his elbows started shrinking on the third day and were almost gone 2 weeks later. Another said he managed to get rid of the scales on the back of his head, which had tormented him for years. People reported their nails started to recover for the first time in years. PsoriFix was obviously something different. Now I can proudly share my story with you in this video and recommend the product that helped me eliminate psoriasis, because I know it can help you as well. But don't take my word for it. Try it yourself and you'll be amazed by the results, just as I was. I've put a link to PsoriFix website under the video where you can read more about the ingredients, prices, delivery, and everything. I wish you a quick recovery. Believe me, psoriasis can be defeated. If I can do it after 8 years of struggle, you can do it too.